Hey everybody, Boris. Welcome to the crosses for October 17, October 29, 2016. And this week, my idea for the crosses is really not for the faint of heart. I am going to try to sort of go for a couple of unconventional against the trend ideas. Some of them I feel much stronger about. Others are really very much a punt, certainly, in terms of trying to take a look at the ideas. But they may be worthwhile simply because I think the risk-reward ratios here look quite good. So without much ado, let's just kind of take a look at some of the things that I'm thinking about doing this week. Euro-pound. As far as we talked about in the majors, the idea that the pound itself possibly could be bottoming out. Certainly, we have 4 straight days of no further losses in the pound on the fresh lows, and that sets up to me a much stronger euro pound short than we've had in quite a while. Certainly, any kind of a push by Mario Draghi towards a more accommodative stance or anything else that could help us on the short side of the euro could definitely help us. But really, I think it's going to be driven primarily by any kind of a short covering move out of the pound. But I like the idea here of we have clear weakness in the euro, we have less weakness in the pound at this point. Possibly trying this out as a short. With the resistance, of course, here is 92, support at 88. And I'll take a look at the charts here just 1 second to show you how I think the whole thing sets up. The other trade, very, very risky. I'll be the first one to admit it because it's truly against trend at this point, is the Aussie Kiwi short. But there is, I think, a decent case to be made that if we have the support at 70 on the Kiwi and the Kiwi begins to bounce, the whole relative weakness of the Kiwi against the Aussie is going to rebalance itself, especially because if you look at the Aussie Kiwi charts, it's really up against a very significant resist point here at this 107.50 level. So resist 108, not much of a move above this point would really invalidate this trade, and support 105.50. And then last but not least, again, the idea here is that if yen can catch a bit, if dollar yen can catch a bit towards this 105 and cable is stopped going down, then the flow should really pull us up on pound yen, which again is sort of in this 125, 130 range on the basis very similar to the pound 120, 125 range, and could therefore participate to the upside on that particular move. Let's just take a look at the charts here and I'll show you what I mean on everything here. So first and foremost, euro pound. And this is, you can see sort of the inverse of the pound situation, no fresh highs. We've kind of really hit low volatility movement here. 92 is obviously the very big resist point. But the idea here is if we start to crumble towards the 89, there's a very serious possibility we can move all the way at least maybe to 88.50 here to the downside. And that's where the descent is. And that's why I think an interesting short possibility here is it's basically trend exhaustion move here with deeper correction than we currently have. On Aussie Kiwi, just pull this up here for you. And you can clearly see it's a triple top resist point here at this 107.50. Now, a blast through here really invalidates the move, and that's why I wouldn't hang out for more than 50, 60 points here. If it goes 108.25, definitely wrong on the short, and I would just get out. But as long as it kind of just can fail at this level, the possibility of a move back down towards the 106.50, quite significant. Therefore, I think it's an interesting possibility here, just as a punt. This, of all of the ideas I have this week, this is by far the riskiest, but also has the least amount of risk in terms of to the upside. It's a 40, 50 point risk to find out if you're wrong, 60, 70 point risk to find out if you're really wrong on trying to short this thing. Last but not least, what I think is another interesting pound idea, again, back to the upside, is this whole pound yen idea. Because if we can get yen to lift the pound yen cross and cable begin to sort of strengthen just a little bit, there's a strong possibility here of a move towards the 130 level. As a matter of fact, let's just take a look at here at the 1 hour charts over the last 10 days. And we can see that it's definitely built a strong support of 125. We've tested the 128. Here's the key thing on a hourly basis. As long as we can hold above this 126 level, it would present a higher low, and again, a second move back up towards the 128. It's a nice, strong, strong move towards the resist point here. So I think there's some interesting potential here. Certainly on the cable crosses, there's a much higher risk trade here on the Aussies. And overall, the crosses in some ways could be a much more interesting trade here, as a lot of the major event risk has kind of gone off. The primary major event risk this week will be on the cable economic news, on UK economic news, and that's why, given the fact that it's been relatively positive, you could get this whole big blast to the upside if you use the crosses to participate in the move. Wish you guys the best of luck, the best of trading. Boris Schlossberg, over and out.